Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to crack open a stack of sources pulled directly from chapters 4 through 12 of the book, Discipline is Destiny, Shaping Your Life with Your Reality.
That's right. You've brought these chapters to us. And our mission, really, with this deep dive is to go beyond just a summary. We want to get at the core nuggets, you know?
The important stuff.
Exactly. The key ideas, the practical tools, the insights maybe you wouldn't expect,
Yeah.
all focused on how discipline, viewed through this particular lens, can be this, well, powerful engine for shaping the life you actually want.
Yeah, and it's not about that grim white-knuckle approach, is it? The book seems to frame discipline more like intentional design.
Precisely. It's constructive.
So yeah, forget misery, get ready, because we're exploring practical exercises, some really interesting case studies, and clear frameworks for turning intention into, well, reality. Okay, let's unpack this. Chapter 4 kicks things off. Crafting your personal vision.
Yeah, and this chapter really hammers home that discipline without direction is kind of pointless, right? It starts with something fundamental, a values assessment.
Okay.
The power here is simple but profound. Identify your top 5 personal values. Could be freedom, mastery, maybe contribution, connection, whatever resonates. Then you rate, like, how aligned your current life feels with each one, usually on a 1 to 10 scale.
And the interesting part, I thought, was focusing on the value that scores lowest.
Exactly. The book suggests that gap isn't just a number, it's critical information. A signal, really, about where your energy might be best focused, what kind of vision you need to build.
Makes sense. So you get that value's clarity first.
Yeah.
Then what?
Then it moves into vision mapping. And it offers a few different tools, recognizing that, people visualize things differently. A vision board is one option. Images, symbols of that ideal future.
Classic tool.
Right. Or sketching what your life looks like at specific time horizons. What does it look like in 1 year, 5 years, maybe even 20 years out?
I really like the idea of the one-page narrative. Like drafting a detailed future self letter, describing an ideal day. That makes the future feel much more concrete, much more real.
It does. It makes it tangible. And from that vision, you then build your goal hierarchy. The book makes this useful distinction between your big rocks.
The major stuff.
Yeah, the 2 or 3 major outcomes you're aiming for, launching a business, finishing a huge project, whatever it is. And then the supporting pebbles, the smaller stepping stone goals.
And that's where the SMART criteria come in, right, for the pebble.
Exactly. Making those sub-goals specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. It's not just jargon. It ensures those pebbles are actual, manageable steps forward. The tool they suggest could be as simple as a mind map or even a spreadsheet, just to visually link those big rocks all the way down to daily actions.
Okay, but visions can get pretty ambitious. How does it handle that?
Ah, that's key. Chapter 4 really stresses balancing ambition and feasibility. They talk about the stretch zone.
Right. Challenging, but not impossible.
Precisely. Goals should pull you forward, excite you, but not be so huge they just paralyze you. And a really practical strategy for this is buffer planning.
Like adding extra time?
Yeah, maybe adding 20% extra time or resources for major milestones. It's like building in shock absorbers for when things inevitably go sideways.
That makes sense. It's realistic.
And they use the case study of how Elon Musk stages Tesla's product launches. He doesn't promise the moon on day 1.
Right. It's phased. Manage risk, build momentum.
Exactly. It manages complexity, builds that momentum you mentioned, and allows for learning and adjustment. It's a great illustration of balancing big vision with practical steps.
So this all leads to the vision realization plan itself.
Which is about breaking that maybe 1-year vision into, say, quarterly sprints, each with clear, tangible deliverables, and crucially, setting up a regular practice like a monthly review ritual.
A vision check meeting.
Yeah, with yourself or maybe an accountability partner, just to check, am I still on course? Do I need to adjust?
And I like that final prompt from the chapter. What's one small step, just one, you can take today that unmistakably moves you toward your vision?
Grounds it right back in the present. Really powerful.
Okay, so vision is set, plan is roughed out. But how do you actually build the consistency to take those steps day after day? That leads us straight into chapter 5, designing keystone habits.
This is such a powerful concept, identifying leverage points, finding those keystone habits.
The ones that give you the most bang for your buck.
Exactly. Small changes, sometimes really small, that create this huge ripple effect across your life. The classic example is morning exercise, right? It's not just fitness. It boosts mood, focus, energy.
Affects your whole day. Work, relationships.
Totally. So the book suggests auditing your existing routines. Where could one little tweak yield those kinds of outsized gains?
And to make new habits stick, they talk about habit stacking and implementation intentions.
Right, that simple formula. After or before an existing habit I already do, I will do the new habit. You piggyback on something that's already automatic.
Like the example, after I finish breakfast, I will write 3 gratitude journal lines.
Classic. And it works because breakfast is usually non-negotiable. You just bolt the new thing onto it. The tool is literally just writing out 5 or 10 of these specific if X then Y intentions, put them in your planner.
Now, this part I found really interesting for avoiding overwhelm. Micro-commitment and gradual scaling.
Yes. Start tiny. Seriously tiny. 1 push-up. 1 minute of deep breathing. Consistency is the goal first, not volume.
Get the pattern established.
Exactly. Once you've done that micro step consistently for, say, 14 days, then you scale up, maybe by about 20%. But the warning is critical. Never add more than 2 new keystones at once.
Right. Recipe for burnout otherwise.
Totally. And you absolutely have to monitor and adjust. A simple habit tracker helps, an X on a calendar each day you do it. That visual feedback is powerful. Then the weekly review. Look at the tracker. What worked? What didn't? Where did I feel friction? And then you tweak the habit or the intention. It's an ongoing process.
And a case study they included about the busy professional.
Oh, yeah. Feeling scattered, overwhelmed. The keystone habit they introduced was just a 5-minute morning power hour, a bit of stretching, quick planning, visualization, tiny commitment.
And the result?
A reported 30% increase in on-time project delivery within 3 months. It really shows how a small, focused change can ripple outwards. Makes you think, what's my potential keystone?
Okay, so you have the vision, you're building these key habits. But habits don't exist in a vacuum, right? They need structure. Which brings us nicely to Chapter 6, Systems over Goals.
This is a huge reframe for a lot of people. Goals are essential, yes. They set the direction, point the ship, but it's your systems, the underlying processes that actually determine if you reach the destination.
That James Clear quote they use is so good. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems.
It really flips the script. Focus on the process, not just the prize. So designing your system means identifying the key components, your inputs like time, energy, focus, your processes, the actual habits and routines, and your outputs, the measurable results.
And they suggest blueprinting it, like actually drawing it out.
Yeah, sketching a mini system diagram for your main life areas, health, work, relationships. It helps you see how the pieces connect, or maybe where they don't connect.
Okay, and what about keeping the system healthy?
That's where feedback loops and iteration come in. Understanding reinforcing loops, how small wins build motivation, which leads to more wins. But also balancing loops, recognizing that things like rest and recovery aren't stopping the system. They're essential parts of a sustainable system.
So rest isn't lazy, it's strategic.
Absolutely. A tool for tracking this could be a simple monthly KPI dashboard. Track key outputs, hours slept, workouts done, pages written, whatever matters for that system.
And systems need upkeep, right? They don't just run forever on their own.
Definitely not. System maintenance is crucial. They suggest a review cadence, daily checks, maybe micro adjustments, weekly reviews for tactical tweaks, and then quarterly or even longer term reviews for bigger strategic shifts. The core principle is adaptation. If your outputs aren't what you want, don't just push harder blindly. Inspect your inputs, tweak your processes.
Makes you look at your life differently. Like which of my systems are actually working smoothly, almost on autopilot, and which ones are kind of broken and need fixing.
Exactly. It's a powerful diagnostic lens.
Okay, so building systems is great, but, life happens, curveballs get thrown. Chapter 7 dives into resilience through reality.
Yeah, and the foundation here is accepting setbacks as data, really internalizing that stoic idea. The obstacle is the way.
Easy, though.
Not easy at all. It's not about pretending setbacks don't sting. It's about reframing them. A setback isn't final failure. It's valuable information about what doesn't work. That info helps you refine your system.
And managing the emotional fallout is key, emotional discipline.
Right. They offer tools like the STOP technique. Stop, take a breath, observe what's happening internally, then proceed consciously. Or even just labeling emotions accurately. Okay, I'm feeling frustrated right now. Naming it can lessen its grip.
They suggest trying it next time stress spikes. The STOP cycle.
Yeah, just for 60 seconds, notice the shift, maybe journal about it. It builds that muscle of conscious response instead of just reaction.
Now, having a toolkit for stress.
A diverse stress management toolkit, definitely. Yeah. Physical tools, progressive muscle relaxation, breath work, mental tools, short mindfulness breaks, maybe a thought download, just getting swirling thoughts onto paper,
Hmm.
and social tools, calling a friend, talking to a mentor to get perspective.
It connects to growth mindset too, doesn't it? Believing you can improve.
Absolutely. Seeing challenges as temporary, as things you can develop skills to handle. A great prompt they offer is, take a past failure. List 3 strengths or valuable lessons you gained because you went through it.
Reframing failure as learning.
Exactly. And building this resilience isn't just reactive. You can build it proactively with resilience rituals. Simple things, like a daily wins log in the day noting 3 small successes. Doesn't matter how small.
Builds momentum.
It does. Or a weekly gratitude share, send a quick thank you note or text to someone who helped you. These seem small, maybe even fluffy, but they consistently build emotional strength over time.
Okay, so you're building, maintaining systems, getting resilient. But what about that inner friction? That voice saying, I don't want to. Chapter 8 is all about overcoming resistance.
This one gets into the weeds of the psychology of procrastination. And it's rarely just laziness, right? Usually the root cause is deeper. Fear of failure, maybe fear of success, sometimes just plain boredom, or often just being unclear on the very next tiny step.
So how do you figure out the real reason?
A useful tool they suggest is the 5 whys technique. You state the problem, I'm putting off writing this report, and ask why. Then you ask why about that answer, and so on, maybe 5 times. It helps drill down past the surface excuse to the core issue.
Interesting. Like peeling an onion.
Kind of. And once you understand the why, you can use micro-action hacks to just get started, bypass the resistance. The classic 2-minute rule is great for this.
If it takes less than 2 minutes, just do it now.
Exactly. Amazing how many small things pile up because we defer them. Or the Pomodoro technique, working in focused 25-minute blocks with short breaks, makes daunting tasks feel less overwhelming.
What about getting help from others? Accountability.
Hugely important. Accountability structures.
Mm-hmm.
Things like peer partnerships, setting up regular check-ins with a commitment buddy. Just knowing you have to report progress can be a powerful motivator. Or even making public pledges.
Like telling your team or posting online.
Yeah, that social pressure, that desire not to let others down can be a strong lever.
And they mention tricks from behavioral economics.
Right. Leveraging quirks of our psychology, like loss aversion. Put some skin in the game. Maybe give a friend money that you forfeit if you miss a deadline. We hate losing things more than we like gaining them.
Ouch. Effective, though, maybe.
Can be. Or using pre-commitment devices. Physically schedule time in your calendar for a specific task. Treat it like an unbreakable appointment. Or even schedule a meeting with yourself or a mentor specifically to tackle that one thing you're avoiding.
And simple things like changing your environment.
Environment tweaks can make a massive difference. Using distraction blockers apps that block social media during work hours. Or priming your space. This is a good one. Before you finish work for the day, clear your desk and leave out only the tools and materials needed for the very first task tomorrow morning.
Reduces the friction to starting.
Exactly. Makes it easier to just slide right in.
Okay, that handles internal resistance. But the world outside doesn't stand still. Chapter 9 is key for dealing with that. Adapting to change.
Crucial chapter. It starts with recognizing reality shifts. You have to be paying attention to the signals. Market changes, new tech, personal events like health shifts or family changes. A tool they suggest is doing a quick, maybe monthly, SWOT refresh.
Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats.
Right, just to keep scanning the horizon, proactively spotting what's emerging.
And when you spot a shift, you need ways to pivot.
Pivot strategies, yeah.
Yeah.
One approach is making small bets. Don't go all in on a new direction immediately. Test it out with low investment first, see what the feedback is. And related to this is recognizing the value of option value.
Meaning keeping some resources free.
Exactly. Keeping some slack could be time, money, mental energy available, so you have the flexibility to jump on unexpected opportunities that might arise. You can't predict everything.
So planning needs to be flexible too.
Which is where agile planning comes in. Using short iterations, working in, say, 2 to 4 week sprints with clear goals. Then, critically, doing retrospectives after each sprint.
Looking back at what worked, what didn't.
Exactly. What should we stop doing, start doing, continue doing? It builds learning and adaptation right into the rhythm of work.
But how do you stay disciplined when everything feels like it's shifting under your feet during those transitions?
That's tough. They suggest keeping certain anchor habits constant, like maybe your daily walk or your morning journaling practice stays the same, even if your work project changes drastically. Provide stability. And also consciously reinforcing identity stability, reminding yourself, Okay, things are changing, but I'm someone who adapts, learns, and perseveres.
Anchoring yourself in who you are, not just what you're doing.
Well put. And underlying all this adaptation is the idea of learning loops. The build, measure, learn cycle is a classic example. Build a quick test or prototype, measure the results, gather the data, and then learn from it to inform your next move.
Constantly experimenting and learning.
Right. A great question to ask yourself from this chapter is, what's one safe-to-fail experiment I can run this week? Something small to test a new approach or idea.
Okay, so we're adapting, pivoting, learning. But discipline is a long game. How do you keep the engine running? Chapter 10 focuses on sustaining momentum.
This chapter starts by normalizing the plateau breakthrough cycle. Progress isn't a smooth upward line, right? Plateaus happen. They're normal.
That's reassuring, actually.
It is. The key is recognizing where you are. Tracking leading indicators, the effort you're putting in, like hours practiced versus lagging indicators, the results, like performance improvements. And when you hit a plateau, a tactic is to introduce a fresh stimulus.
Shake things up.
Yeah, a new variation on a habit, a different training method, a new challenge. Maybe every 4 to 6 weeks, introduce something novel to kickstart progress again.
And rest comes up again here, doesn't it?
Critically, rest, recovery, and renewal. High performance absolutely requires deliberate rest. Prioritizing deep sleep, maybe scheduling periodic longer breaks or sabbaticals if possible, but even simpler, scheduling actual white space into your daily and weekly calendar. Unstructured time.
Time to just breathe and recharge.
Exactly. And building in specific renewal rituals, like a monthly reset day, dedicated time to review goals, clear physical and digital clutter, plan the month ahead, or maybe an annual retreat, a longer personal offsite to really step back and recalibrate the big picture vision and items.
What about celebrating progress? Does that help sustain momentum?
Absolutely vital. Gratitude and celebration. Using micro rewards. Hit a small milestone. Give yourself a small planned treat. Favorite coffee, short break, whatever works. For bigger wins, something more substantial. And also, public recognition, consciously thanking collaborators, mentors, supporters. Acknowledging the journey fuels the next leg.
Keeps the positive energy flowing.
Precisely. And for the really long haul, you need to be tracking long-term progress. They suggest creating an annual report card. Honestly, grade yourself across your key life domains, health, work, relationships, maybe A to F, then set clear targets for next year.
A yearly checkup on your life trajectory.
Kind of, yeah. And a fascinating reflective question here is, which single metric, if you had to pick one, best captures the story of your journey over the last few years? And what is that story telling you?
Wow, that's a deep one. Okay, we've covered vision, habits, systems, resilience, adaptation, momentum. How does it all come together? Chapter 11 is about becoming your best self.
This chapter really aims for integration. Body, mind, and purpose. It pushes for a holistic check. How aligned are your physical vitality, your mental growth, and your sense of contributing to something meaningful?
Like finding that sweet spot.
Exactly. An exercise they suggest is drawing a Venn diagram. What do you love? What are you good at? What does the world need? Finding that intersection where passion, skill, and service overlap.
And health is foundational here, not just an add-on.
Absolutely. Health and vitality mastery. Building on the non-negotiables. Sleep, nutrition, movement, and then maybe exploring more advanced practices if they align things like biofeedback, maybe intermittent fasting, personalized health tracking, whatever supports your peak energy.
And learning never stops.
Continuous learning is presented as essential, developing T-shaped skills, deep expertise in one core area, but broad competence across several others, and consciously curating a lifelong curriculum for yourself. Building a personal syllabus of books, courses, mentors that keep you growing.
It also looks beyond just the self, doesn't it? Legacy thinking.
Yes, thinking bigger picture. Considering your two-generation vision, how might your disciplined actions today ripple forward to benefit your children or grandchildren? And thinking about stewardship. What institutions, causes, or bodies of work will carry your positive influence forward even after you're gone?
That really elevates the why behind the discipline.
It does. And a natural outcome of mastering this yourself is mentoring and teaching discipline to others. Using an apprenticeship model, perhaps inviting someone into your process, showing them how you work, coaching them, or engaging in community building, hosting small mastermind groups, workshops, sharing what you've learned.
So it becomes about multiplying the impact.
Exactly. It shifts from just personal achievement to contribution and legacy. Really makes you ask, how am I actively weaving together my physical health, my mental sharpness, and my sense of purpose right now? Are they in sync?
Which leads us perfectly into the final chapter we're covering.
Yeah.
Chapter 12, the destiny equation.
This chapter really distills the ultimate payoff. The core idea is the compound interest of choices.
Little things adding up over time.
Massively. That principle, that small, consistent, disciplined actions, the habits, the system tweaks we've talked about, they don't just add up, they compound. They grow exponentially over long periods.
Okay, an exercise for that.
A simple calculator exercise, just project the results of improving by only 1% each day, over 100 days, okay? Over 1,000 days. The growth curve becomes staggering. It really highlights the power of consistency.
And visualizing that growth.
Using trajectory modeling. Could be actual visualization, picturing or sketching your progress curve over time for a key metric like skill level or savings. Or using a simple tool like a basic line chart, years on the bottom, your metric on the side. Seeing the upward trend reinforces the effort.
And making sure you're tracking the right things.
Quantifying progress effectively. That distinction between leading metrics, the daily efforts, the habits, and lagging metrics, the long-term results, is crucial. Are your daily actions actually moving the needle on your ultimate goals? The suggestion is building a one-page destiny dashboard, tracking maybe your top 3 KPIs, key indicators that reflect both the effort and the outcome.
Keep your eye on what truly matters.
Right. And the chapter uses these extraordinary case studies to drive the point home. People like James Clear.
The Atomic Habits guy.
Yeah, who systematically built his expertise in habit science after a serious injury, shared it consistently, and it compounded into a massive global impact. Or Angela Duckworth and her research on grit.
Which grew from personal observation into major scientific work.
Exactly. These aren't just stories of overnight success. They are powerful examples of the cumulative effect of focused, disciplined, consistent effort over years.
So it's not magic, it's math, almost.
In a way, yeah. The math of compounding choices. And the final step presented is moving from discipline to destiny. It's framed not as some mystical leap, but the natural culmination of living these principles consistently. The final exercise is actually writing your destiny statement.
Like a personal manifesto?
Kind of. A concise statement that connects your specific disciplined habits and systems to the meaningful impact or change you aim to create in the world. It ties it all together.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, from chapters 4 through 12.
Yeah.
What's the big takeaway for someone listening right now?
I think the biggest takeaway is that discipline, as this book frames it, isn't about deprivation or punishment. It's fundamentally about design.
Designing your life.
Intentionally designing the structures, the clear vision, the keystone habits, the robust systems, the resilience practices that make the life you want not just a distant dream, but the increasingly likely outcome of your daily actions.
So we've really taken that deep dive from crafting the vision, building habits, designing systems, becoming resilient, adapting, sustaining momentum, integrating everything, body, mind, purpose, all on this path towards what the book ultimately calls destiny.
And what's so compelling is seeing how interconnected it all is. It's not just about having more willpower. It's about creating an environment and a set of processes within yourself that support your highest intentions. It really repositions discipline. It shows that discipline isn't really about limitation. It's the engine of creation. It's what allows you to build something meaningful, piece by consistent piece.
That definitely shifts the perspective. It leaves us with a pretty potent question to think about, doesn't it?
It does.
When you look back, maybe 10 years from now, 20 years, what will you be most proud of having built or contributed or perhaps become? And how does reflecting on that future pride shape the very next discipline choice you make today?